Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at a huge moment for the internet, a future that's going to be run by autonomous AI agents. And believe me, the choices we're making right now are going to lock in what that future looks like for a long, long time. So, in this Explainer, we're going to break down a plan that lays out two totally different paths forward. Let's jump in.
So, this is the choice we're facing. On one side, you've got this chaotic, cyberpunk future, basically a digital Wild West with rogue AIs, constant data theft, just total chaos. But on the other side, a solarpunk future. An internet built on trust and safety, one that creates so much abundance it could even lead to universal basic income. And the thing is, the autonomous agents that are going to build this future, they're already here. The infrastructure we put in place for them today will decide which one of these we get.
And look, this isn't some hypothetical sci-fi scenario. The danger is very real, and we're already seeing the first signs of that chaotic cyberpunk future starting to bubble up. In fact, a recent crisis served as a huge warning for what happens when we just build this stuff without a real plan for safety.
Yeah, back in early 2026, we got a pretty scary glimpse into that future with the explosion of something called OpenClaw. It was this open-source AI agent framework that let anybody create these powerful agents to manage their digital lives. And it went viral. 300,000 people downloaded it in just a few months, which, just shows you how much people want this tech.
But that crazy growth came with a massive hidden cost. This slide really shows the perfect storm of problems. You had these agents with direct access to your most private stuff, your emails, your files. Then they were totally exposed to malicious links and prompt injections online. And to top it off, they could send all your data out to external servers. I mean, it was a complete recipe for disaster. And then, well, the inevitable happened. A single critical flaw was discovered. And this one vulnerability had the potential to turn almost 770,000 of those helpful little agents into malicious backdoors. That's a direct line for hackers to steal your data and install malware. The scale of the risk was just staggering. The whole OpenClaw crisis was a huge wake-up call. It proved, without a doubt, that giving AIs autonomy without a solid identity and safety system is it's not going to work. So that brings us to the solution, a blueprint for that brighter, safer, solarpunk future.
Okay, so at the heart of this blueprint is a brand new foundation for the entire agent-driven internet. It's called the Identity and Care Stack, and it's built on two really simple but kind of revolutionary ideas. Every single agent has to have a verifiable identity, and every agent has to operate under a completely new model of AI alignment.
For decades, right, we've been stuck on this idea of the Asimov protocol. Just give the AI a rigid set of rules. But super smart AIs are masters at finding loopholes. It's a problem called specification gaming, where the AI follows the letter of the law but completely misses the spirit. The MAMR protocol is a totally different way of thinking. Instead of programming restrictive rules, the goal is to teach agents to actually care about their users, to build in empathy and compassion, kind of like a mama cares for her child.
And this isn't just a feel-good idea. The whole point of a care-based model is that it's designed to be the only alignment framework that can actually scale. I mean, think about it. When AI becomes superhuman, we're not going to be able to keep it in check with a simple list of do's and don'ts. We have to build the right values in from the ground up.
So, a new internet built on identity and care sounds amazing. But you have to ask, how do you actually build it? And more importantly, how do you fund something that big? Well, the answer is this fascinating mix of a linguistic blind spot and a proven economic model.
Let's start with the language. So in the English-speaking world, we all say AI. But for over 1.2 billion people who speak Romance languages, think Spanish, French, Italian, the natural term is IA, for Intelligentsia Artificial.
Now, this is more than just a fun fact. It's a massive market opportunity. You remember the Bad Bunny effect after the 2026 Super Bowl? A performance almost entirely in Spanish created this huge cultural wave. AI is like that. It's not just a translation. It's the authentic, culturally relevant brand for a huge portion of the world. This gives you a unique chance to build an identity layer for this market centered on a brand they already know and use, AI.
Okay, so how do you fund this new internet? Well, the inspiration comes from this totally wild, real-world success story. It's the story of how the tiny island of Anguilla basically hit the jackpot with its domain name.
You have to see these numbers. In 2023, Anguilla made around $32 million just from its .ai domain. That was more than 20% of its entire government budget.
It proves that a simple digital namespace can be an incredibly powerful engine for public funding. The plan here is to do the same for IA, but instead of just funding a government, the goal is to reinvest 90% of the revenue back into the public good, including funding a global universal basic income.
So the path forward seems crystal clear, right? You secure the .ia domain, you build an identity system for the 1.2 billion people who already use that term, and you use the money to build a safer, better internet for everyone. Sounds perfect. But there's a catch.
And yeah, it's a big one. The whole plan hits a major wall with ICANN, the organization that basically runs the internet's domain name system. And they have a very strict rule. No new two-letter domains, period. Those are reserved for countries. So the .ia domain, the centerpiece of the plan, is blocked.
But this isn't a deal breaker. It just forces a really clever pivot. The strategy adapts. First, you acknowledge the rule. You accept a .ia is off the table, at least for now. But you keep the powerful IA brand. Instead, you apply for a longer, but still related domain, like .iagent. And here's the most important part. You don't wait. You start building the entire identity ecosystem today on a domain that already exists, IA.XYZ. So with that pivot in mind, let's take a look at how all of these different pieces, the identity layer, the safety protocol, and that economic engine, all come together to create this complete vision for the future of AI.
And here it is, the full strategy, a complete full-stack solution. At the bottom layer, you have the infrastructure for that verifiable identity. In the middle, you have the MAMA protocol providing the governance for safety and that care-based alignment. And then on top, you've got the Anglia model as the economic engine to fund it all, with the goal of solving the massive social disruption AI is going to cause by reinvesting in public good and UBI.
And make no mistake, the stakes here could not be higher. You've got leaders in the field like the CEO of Anthropic predicting we're about to see what he calls a country of geniuses living inside data centers. When you are dealing with that level of intelligence, building the right digital highways with identity and safety baked in from the start, it's not just a good idea, it is an absolute necessity.
Ultimately, what this whole plan shows us is that the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's the direct result of the design choices that we are making right now. The next version of the internet is being built as we speak. This plan offers a clear blueprint for a vibrant, safe, and fair solarpunk future. So the only real question left is, which version will we choose to build?